Well, good morning and aloha. I'm going to start out with some prepared remarks first, and then I'll allow for question and answers to the group. I am Vice Admiral Jeff Jablon, and I am honored to serve as the Combined Task Force Commander for the 30th iteration of Rim of the Pacific, or RIMPAC 26. Since its inception in 1971, RIMPAC has grown into the world's largest international maritime exercise and the premier opportunity for allied and partner nations to train together at sea, in the air, in space, and on land. This year's exercise carries additional significance as it coincides with the 250th anniversary of the United States. For 250 years, our nation has built enduring relationships with allies and partners based on trust, mutual respect, and shared interests. RIMPAC is where those relationships are strengthened through action. Our theme this year is Partners, Integrated and Prepared. The purpose of RIMPAC is to build on those relationships, improve interoperability, and enhance the readiness of participating forces to promote maritime security and regional stability in a free and open Indo-Pacific. This summer, we are joined by forces from 30 nations, 31 surface ships, 5 submarines, 1,100 landing forces, 197 aircraft, and approximately 30,000 personnel. Our leadership team assembled here reflects the strength of this multinational partnership. Chile is serving as the deputy commander. Japan is the vice commander. The Republic of Korea is leading the maritime component for the first time. And Canada is leading the air component in what is the largest RIMPAC exercise to date. As we begin this exercise, I have 3 priorities for every participant: safety, environmental stewardship, and professionalism. First, safety. The training we conduct in the air, on the ground, and on and below the sea is inherently demanding. Effective risk management must be integrated into every operation and every off-duty activity. Our objective is simple: accomplish the mission while protecting the people, preserving our combat credibility. Second, environmental stewardship. We recognize the privilege and responsibility of training here in Hawaii. We remain committed to protecting Hawaii's unique natural environment and will adhere to established measures designed to safeguard marine life, natural resources, and the surrounding ecosystem throughout the exercise. Third, professionalism. We will hold ourselves to the highest standards of conduct and performance. That commitment applies during military operations and while engaging with the local community. Every service member participating in RIMPAC represents not only their military, but also their nation. I've asked all participants to embrace the spirit of respect, humility, and responsibility that defines Hawaii's aloha spirit. Treat one another with dignity, act with integrity, and leave a positive impression on the communities that welcome us. It really is an honor and privilege to serve alongside this remarkable team of allies and partners. I look forward to a safe, productive, and successful exercise as we strengthen our collective ability to preserve security, stability, and freedom across the theater. Thank you, and we look forward to your questions.
Good morning, Hong Han Lim from Central News Agency, Taiwan. Admiral, this question is for you. Taiwan is now officially part of RIMPAC, but as you can see, many of my fellow reporters on Taiwan here today. So the world is paying close attention to security in the Taiwan Strait. So I understand the exercise is not about Taiwan or a specific country, but let me put it this way: like, how does RIMPAC send a credible deterrence message to any potential aggressor, and how does it change the calculus before they use force? That's my question.
Thank you for your question. As you stated, RIMPAC is not about any one particular country or a deterrent for any one particular country. Our theme is partners, integrated, and prepared. Partners, as you can see standing up here, partners achieving a mission of interoperability, the maritime mission to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. Integrated started 2 years ago, and this week in the import phase, we're continuing that integration, building those relationships. Prepared for our nation's maritime missions after we leave RIMPAC. So that is our focus. Thank you.
Some people say that if you lay down your weapon, you can have peace. So how would you respond to that?
So peace through strength is our motto in the U.S. military. Deterrence, nobody wants to go to war. Deterrence is the means that we have peace through strength, and our goal is that peace.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ladd from Defense One. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the role of unmanned systems or autonomous systems in RIMPAC and things you might be using and anything might be new as far as that goes.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Alongside of our normal operations with surface ships and submarines, we have an experimentation portion of RIMPAC, which has about 30 to 35 experiments that we utilize unmanned systems throughout RIMPAC. I don't want to go into the specifics of those specific systems that we are testing, but it will be a major part of RIMPAC operations.
Hello, I'm Helen Zhang from the Taiwan Area News. In recent years have seen increased military activity across the Indo-Pacific. What trends are you watching most closely and how the partner nation adapting to that? Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's very hard to hear your question. Could you repeat your question just a little bit slower?
Recent years have seen increased military activities across the Indo-Pacific. What trends are you watching most closely and how are partner nations adapting to them? Thank you.
Okay, so our main effort within RIMPAC is partnership, the integration, preparedness that we will have throughout our military exercises. Throughout RIMPAC, we conduct a full range of military exercises from anti-submarine warfare to anti-air warfare, land warfare. We do humanitarian search, humanitarian assistance and disaster recovery. We do search and rescue. So those missions will help us achieve our objectives through.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm Jonathan Masaki with Hawaii News Now in Komamai. Welcome to the islands. My first question deals with lethality. Obviously, all the forces are here to talk about the combative strength collectively. Tell me, what is the number one thing you stress when it comes to lethality in training with each other?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Very important. First thing I would stress is safety above all else. So it's a very, very complicated exercise, assembling 30 nations, 31 ships, that many aircraft that I'm talking about. So safety is our first and foremost priority. With lethality, we started the import phase and we do a gradual build-up, culminating in at the end phase, building on the lethality, the capability of each of our nations' ability to carry out that specific maritime mission. So lethality goes hand in hand with safety, and that's a major goal for us.
On the other side of the camp, you kind of stressed this already too. On the non-lethal side, being very respectful for ethnic observances and Native Hawaiian type of observances. What do you stress? You said you do talk to your service members about being very sensitive to that. So can you just expound on that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So my second priority that I talked about was environmental stewardship. And as part of that is cultural appreciation. During the import phase, we review all the rules and regulations with respect to operating in waters, with respect to the environment. We abide by the Endangered Species Act. We have extra watch standards on board our surface ships to look for marine mammals. We stop our exercises if we have marine mammals in the area that don't leave the area. On land, we abide by the cultural respect of those lands. We don't conduct operations on lands for cultural sensitivity. So it's first and foremost in our mind for everything that we do with environmental stewardship, cultural appreciation.
Hi, Kevin Odell with Star Advertisers. Some follow-ups on environmental stewardship.
Yes.
One is both operational and environmental. So sustainment, fueling operations, we've seen a lot of change in Hawaii and the Pacific over recent years. How has that kind of evolved since the closure of Red Hill? How are you guys conducting things differently? What are lessons learned, and how are you going about to make sure that doing so is also environmentally safe and responsible?
So our loading of fuel occurs at sea and established procedures from USNS tanker ships to console operations at sea. Those are safe procedures that we carry out every day throughout the world. We'll continue to carry out those procedures every day throughout the world. But one of the things that we are obviously able to take advantage of is the interoperability between our nations and resupply and refuel operations, which are standard procedures that we will start at basic level and carry on throughout the exercise.
Yeah. Second, on the more lethal end, how many ships are we going to see for sink X's this year, and what precautions are you taking around sink X's in terms of stewardship as well?
Okay, are you talking about the actual hull that we're going to sink? Or are you talking about the ships involved in the sinking?
The ships that you're going to sink, like how many we're going to see this year, and what you're doing to make sure that the process is as unobtrusive as it can be, given the circumstances.
Absolutely. There are two hulks that will be sunk during RIMPAC. And obviously for the operational forces, that's a highlight for the operational forces to have that opportunity to train on an old ship that will go to the bottom and become a natural habitat for our marine life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elise Fontes from KTN2 News. So you mentioned a lot about environmental stewardship, which is one of the bigger concerns for locals here in Hawaii. But in general, with the amount of traffic that's coming in, other than the actual exercise itself, what other contributions does RIMPAC bring to the Hawaiian Islands?
Well, first of all, I want to again express my appreciation for the Hawaiian community to host 30,000 personnel coming in to experience RIMPAC. But not only are they experiencing RIMPAC and working with allies and partners, as they gain an appreciation of Hawaii, they're able to go out in town and gain an appreciation of Hawaii culture. I've lived here for 10 years throughout my Navy career, and I love Hawaii. I love the Hawaiian culture. I respect it, and we teach that throughout the week in the import bays for the respect and the appreciation of Hawaii.
Hi, I'm Chi Kang from News Taiwan. And the South Korean Rear Admiral assumed the position of Joint Naval Force Commander first time. What the implications of this? Does it significantly increase in the importance of Asian countries and RIMPAC?
Okay, I'm going to let the Admiral speak to that question, but I just want to reiterate that it is a highlight for the RIMPAC leadership to have the Republic of Korea lead our maritime component. And as you know, Republic of Korea has been involved in numerous RIMPAC events, and I know the Admiral has in the past been a part of RIMPAC.
Thank you. I first service the CPMI. As the CPMI, I will focus success of RIMPAC. Our goal build up the one team. Korean Navy is first time. We all prepared. Thank you.
Hi, Wyatt Olson, Stars and Stripes. Aviation, could you describe how broad the aviation operations will be? Will you be using airfields like in Wake Island, Tinian, that kind of thing, or is it much more confined to the Hawaiian Islands?
So I'm going to let our air component commander answer that question. Jim?
Hey, thank you for the question. It's mostly going to be confined to the island of Oahu. And of course, many of our aviation assets are actually controlled by the CIFMIC proper, and they're on the carrier vessel or helicopters out on our ships. But for the land-based ones, mostly on Oahu.
Good morning, this is Shen Jieling from Taiwan Television News. My question is, we all see gray zone operation cause damage to area security. So can you talk about how we're dealing with gray zone operation? Thank you.
So RIMPAC obviously our focus is on interoperability between our allied and partner nations. As we work through the import phase to the ETSI phase to accomplishing the scenario and the eventual SYNCX that we talked about. So there are specific missions that we want to accomplish in RIMPAC, which leads to our themes of partners integrated and prepared. And conduct of the operations are how we are addressing it.
Hi, this is Alan Liu from Taiwan Plus asking. We've seen for the past few months the U.S. has been dedicated to the conflicts in the Middle East. I wonder if you can elaborate more on whether this has had any impact on the preparation for this year's impact, the Middle East conflict.
Okay, thank you for that question. The straight answer is no. It has not had impact on our preparation and our operations for RIMPAC. The United States is contributing the same number of forces that we normally contribute to RIMPAC. We're looking forward to hosting RIMPAC, and as you can see in the harbor, a number of U.S. ships are part of this tremendous exercise to advance not only our allied partner interoperability, but carry out training for our U.S. sailors. Thank you.
This year we've seen more participation from submarines, more involvement from submarines, but a little bit less aircraft than 2024. What does this suggest about the emphasis of RIMPAC on the undersea capabilities?
So I'm a submariner, so I'm happy to see more submarines involved in RIMPAC. And undersea warfare is a major part of any naval force. And I know the navies that are participating are looking forward to the enhanced operations with 5 submarines that are involved in RIMPAC. It provides more training for theater undersea warfare, which is a very challenging aspect of each of our navies. So it's only a positive.
Good morning, Admiral. I'm Ting Liu from TVBS News Taiwan. So we've seen actually an increased participation from European countries, by inviting these European countries to participate in RIMPAC. What kind of skills both sides want to share, and of course, what message does it send to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific?
Yes, so I think what you see is by the invitation of those countries and the acceptance to participate in RIMPAC the countries are like-minded, right, to advance a free and open Indo-Pacific. But maritime operations are generally the same no matter where you're doing it throughout the world. So those basic skills, those missions that are carried out in RIMPAC can be incorporated worldwide.
My follow-up question actually goes to the Republic of Korean Navy. So my question for you is that we have seen that the Koreans actually bring your best vessels and your best submarines and your newest P-8A to RIMPAC. So I'm just curious, what actually motivated the Koreans to bring the newest, the biggest, the best of your new stuff here, and what kind of skills you want to share with the rest of the partners here. Thank you.
Okay. Whenever we participate in the RIMPAC, we participated in unit and aircraft and submarine, and every average, and we best and as the Sydney, the we Korean is the unit is very high increased, I think. Thank you.
This is our final question.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Jay Matt, Zuma Press. So in the National Defense Strategy, it is written that in the Indo-Pacific, our allies and partners will take primary responsibility for their own defense with critical but limited support from American forces. And I'm wondering if there is any bridling of interactions relative to the new defense policy that will be exhibited in this year's RIMPAC. It's a very different environment from 24.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. But I think what you'll see standing in front of you is the shared responsibility by our allies and partners, roles in each of the leadership positions to address your question. And that ability to have allies and partners interoperate or operate with the United States Navy is vital to carrying out our mission for free and open Indo-Pacific. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the RIMPAC 26 press conference. And that's all we have today.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Attention on deck.
Carry on, please.